Unit 12, Intercultural Communication. 12A, Reading. The 21st century world has become a more diverse community as a result of rapid changes in the global economy, technology, and transportation. There has been more contact among people who are from different religious, social, ethnic, and educational backgrounds. Therefore, intercultural communication plays an important role in diverse cultural contexts. Intercultural communication is a discipline that studies communication across different cultures and social groups, or how culture affects communication. When we deal with people from different cultures, intercultural conflicts and misunderstandings may arise from differences in cultural values and traditional practices. Study the following blog posts to see how different cultural backgrounds lead to certain conflicts and misunderstandings that affect communication. Blog post 1. The culture of saving face. Under the Japan Exchange and Teaching JET program, Megan, an Australian teacher, was excited to have challenging experiences in Japan. After delivering her first lecture, she asked her Japanese colleagues for some suggestions on her lecture. Did it work? Did the activity go well? She didn't receive any negative comments. No one said no to her directly. Now she's been in Japan for 2 months and she hasn't heard the word "ai," no. What an exciting experience for her. As could be seen in blog post 1, Japanese people feel that saying no directly will embarrass others or even make them lose face. They usually use many other subtle expressions such as maybe or perhaps instead of saying no. For Megan, she's ready to welcome any useful suggestions, even if they hurt her feelings. Blog post 2. The role of gender in society. Jose was a newly arrived Brazilian international student on campus. After a few weeks in the USA, Emma, a classmate, asked him, "Jose, what are your plans for the weekend? Let's hang out." Jose was surprised at her request to go out, and thus he was hesitant to respond to it. In the meanwhile, Emma felt awkward. She made an excuse and left. Jose realized that he had annoyed her. For Jose, in his homeland, it is unusual for a woman to start asking for a date. Not knowing the fact that it is the man who initiates a dating request in Brazil, Emma asked for a date first. In her community, it is just a casual invitation to have a friendly chat, just to have pure fun and get to know each other more. Blog post 3. The use of non-verbal communication in different cultures. James and his Italian friend were watching the college football match between the University of Oklahoma, OU, and the University of Texas at Austin. During the match, the OU fans held up their index finger, which means, "We are number one." The Texas fans held up the index finger and the little finger, which means "Hook 'em Homs," referring to their mascot, the Longhorn. Hook 'em Homs can be broadly interpreted as defeat them. To an Italian, those gestures mean very different. The first one, holding up the index finger, is an offensive manner. And the second one, holding up the index finger and the little finger, is one of the worst insults for an Italian man. It can be seen in blog post 3 that people from different cultural backgrounds communicate their thoughts and emotions differently by means of non-verbal communication, such as facial expressions and gestures. Gestures can be different from one culture to another. This means that a gesture which is acceptable in one culture might not be tolerated in another. Blog post 4. Naming systems in different cultures. Lee Yu-mi, a Korean student, came to Myanmar under the Koika Overseas Volunteer Program and became friends with Thuza-ong, a teenage girl. Neither of them could speak the other's language. However, communication was going well, as they could communicate with each other in English. Thuza addressed Lee Yu-mi as Lee Yu, and the latter called Thuza-ong, Ung. A few weeks later, the Korean girl said, "I feel a bit uncomfortable when you call me Lee. That's my family name. Please call me Yumi." As a Myanmar girl who is learning English as a foreign language, she thought that her family name might be the last name. And the Korean girl also thought, as in her own culture, the family name of her Myanmar friend is Thuza. Each of them realised that their guesses were wrong and then became comfortable and happy with the name they wanted to be called. In blog post 4, the two friends from different lands made wrong guesses about how a person should be addressed, as they did not realise that each culture has its own naming system. All these blog posts show that people from different cultures communicate messages and perceive the world around them differently. Intercultural communication involves not only an interaction between people from different countries, but also communication between subgroups or ethnic groups within the same country. There are also differences in various aspects of culture: values, beliefs, rituals, norms, language, and symbols. Intercultural conflicts and misunderstandings may occur as a result of these differences. To avert faux pas or social blunder in any international communication, intercultural awareness should be raised. This should certainly reduce social conflicts when two or more people of different nationalities or ethnic groups come into contact.